The Royal B.C. Museum is pledging major change after the release of a report today that found racism and discrimination was directed at staff inside the organization. For more on this, we bring at the legislature. So, Rob, tell us more about today's report.
Well, today's report was a result of high-profile resignations at the museum, including the head of the First Nations Repatriation Department, Lucy Bell, last year, a Haida woman who alleged racism, discrimination, and white privilege in the museum. Today's report backs up many of those allegations. Let me walk you through some of the findings and the changes the museum announced today. Racism and discrimination was found within the museum, including a culture of fear and distrust in the workplace. Management failed to properly handle those complaints, and a recognition the museum has outdated and offensive exhibits stemming from its 135-year history, telling BC's history through the lens of European colonizers and not Indigenous communities. On to the changes, the museum promises a new Indigenous vice president, several new Indigenous hires, and to improve its internal culture. And finally, a big one here, a fundamental shift in the way the museum handles its exhibits, Indigenous history, BC's history of colonization, and a new, more modern museum in the years ahead, both physically with renovations and also the way it displays its material. Now, there was an acknowledgement and an apology from the museum today. Let's hear from the museum board chair in his address to reporters.
These two reports show that we are not the museum we wanted to be, and we're not the museum we should be. I apologize for the way the museum treated Lucy Bell and the many individuals within our workforce, as well as the communities and nations we serve. I am truly sorry for how you've been treated.
So, Stacey, some lasting changes coming to the museum, both in the way it treats its staff, its leadership, and I think in the way the public will see the museum in the future. The board chair talking about a different Royal BC Museum and different exhibits, Stacey, and a different face for a landmark in Victoria in the years ahead.